Hey y'all, Melissa here at Twin Oaks Family Farm, following up on the wellness journey. This is day 7. Day 7 is a lot like day 6 because I'm trying to successfully complete a 48-hour fast. So that 48-hour fast is taking in day 6 and day 7 on the timeline of this 120-day wellness journey, but it's going really good. So in this video, mainly want to share with you some of the low points of the fast, but this fast has gone easier for me than a lot of my attempts. I've attempted a lot of fasts. I've completed a lot of them successfully, but I've also had a lot of attempted fasts that I couldn't complete. My approach to it is to be aware of how I'm feeling, and if I can complete it successfully, that's great. But if I'm getting indicators from my body that says this is too much for me right now, then I back off and I break the fast, because you can always try again is my attitude toward that. But right now I wanted to do a 48-hour fast. Other priorities today here on day 7 was a short walk, not at a fast pace, just a short walk, whatever I could stand at the time, and drinking 100 ounces of water. And so as I'm recording this, I'm about 4 hours away from successful completion of this fast. So I want to go ahead and start with some of the low points of the fast. So I was really amazed that the first 15 hours there was no hunger sensation whatsoever. That is unusual for me. When I've attempted fasts, usually within the first about 12-13 hours I have a sensation of hunger. I made it to about 15 and a half hours, no hunger sensation, no discomfort from feeling like I needed to eat whatsoever. But about 16 hours, that set in. So about really 16 to 18 hours, I had an inkling of wanting some food. As far as feeling hunger pains, I needed to put something in my stomach. That was pretty short term, maybe a half an hour. But in that 16 to 18 hour stretch into the fasting, I got a little bit of discomfort in my neck, and that is typical. A lot of times when I'm in a fast, if I experience some muscle fatigue, that's where I'll feel it, is right there in my neck. So I felt that from about the 16-hour mark to about the 18-hour mark, and then that did let up. But starting about hour 19 to about hour 21, I felt pretty tired, really tired actually. But on the surface, that seems like a nuisance, but under the surface, that really is a good thing. And I'll explain a little bit about that to you here in just a few moments. But during that time, at about hour 20, I really had the first hunger pains in this particular 48-hour fast. So I had some hunger, but again, you know, that sensation of wanting food from hunger only lasted maybe half hour, 40 minutes at the most. But during that time, I got really sleepy. And that's been the most interesting thing about fasting for me overall that I've learned about myself, is that I was eating late in the day and into the night and being wide awake when I should have been getting a cue to be resting. I should have been starting to feel sleepy. And I hardly ever feel sleepy at night when I think I should be feeling sleepy and wanting to go get some rest. But what I learned with fasting is I've been eating throughout the day, into the afternoon, into the night, like at 10 would be about the latest I would usually eat, but still very close to when I would want to be going to bedtime. And from what I can put together, my body was staying alert, trying to complete digestion processes all the time. I was never giving it a break from that. So I found it really interesting that on some of the footage from Wellness Journey Day 6, viewer Tina B had some ideas about sleep quality and some comments that she shared with us here. So sleep quality is important to wellness, and it's of course tied to a lot of other things in our routine. And for me, from fasting, I have learned that sleep quality is very likely very much tied to my eating patterns, especially how late in the day I'm eating and how frequently I'm eating. So I've learned that about myself from the fasting. But I replied back to Tina in the thread about the sleep quality. When it came up, I had no idea I was sabotaging my own sleep by my own eating habits. And from fasting, I've basically learned that's what I was doing. So you know, you live and learn every day. So I learned that from fasting. So the 48-hour fast, I believe it's going to be successful at this point. That was at hours like 2021 when I was really tired and experienced some hunger. Now, about hour 36, I'd say I had a little bit more hunger. And it was interesting that, you know, when you're fasting, I'm going to try to say the following as tactfully as possible and avoid being crude. But when you're fasting, you know, you're not putting any food in. So maybe under the impression that since there's not any input, there isn't going to be any output. But I have actually found that sometimes in that 36 to 40 hour window of a fast, I better stay close to a restroom. And what I'm hoping is that as I'm fasting, my body is eliminating toxins, because that is part of the point of fasting, using it to leverage getting well and healing inflammation, healing anything in the body that needs healed. So just as a tip, if you're fasting, especially extended fast, even though there's no input in terms of food going into the system, there could be output. I am chalking it up to the body eliminating toxins and getting rid of them. I hope that's what is going on, so that I'm getting well and getting healthier. But I did experience that in that 36 to 40 hour window with this fast. And then really just here right before I started recording, so like around hour 44, did I start to experience some perceived muscle fatigue in my upper legs. So that sometimes is part of fasting for me as well. And then, you know, those are the low points, but the high points of fasting is as you cross those little hurdles, you really have a lot of clarity in your mind. I've felt renewed energy during this fast. I haven't felt deprived. I haven't felt significant hunger. I haven't felt pain. Now, sometimes the extended fast, I have experienced some pain. And again, there, I feel like that's maybe the body sending the reinforcements to an area that needs healing. So I kind of try to take that in stride. But the 48-hour fast is going well. I believe it's going to be successful. And I've, at this point, consumed about 70 ounces of water. So definitely on track to consume the 100 ounces of water for today that I want to. And I did a walk, but just a mile walk. So thanks for joining me. Day 7's going great. Really appreciate y'all's support and encouragement that comes through in the comments. And I'm cheering you on too. If you're on a wellness journey, I really hope it's going great for you. Set attainable goals, go little steps. Small efforts add up to big success. So thanks for watching. Check in with us again. God bless you.